All right, welcome back. Our GMC Sierra tweet of the night comes from the Pirates. Yunzers, two guys from this area. David Bednar from Mars and Hamlin Island. Of course, Damar Hamlin from Central Catholic Pitt and now the Buffalo Bills. And he is the odds-on favorite to become back player of the year after everything he went through. I want to ask you, Andrew, before we go to the lines, about something that happened today that we found funny, and that is Seth Rohrabaugh, a local writer, does a very good job with his blog on hockey. He's been around hockey his entire life. Connor McDavid won just about every ballot there was, except Seth. He had him not first, not second, not third, but fifth behind guys like Pasternak, Robertson, even Ilya Sorokin of all people. Tkachuk, sure, he should be in the conversation. But what did you make of that, and that denied him of being really a unanimous selection for the Hart Trophy winner?
Yeah, I want to say that Seth is, he does yeoman's work. He's not a guy that I think did this to get attention or to have the limelight shed on him.
That's true.
He's never struck me as that kind of media personality. That being said, I think it's one of the worst ballots I've ever seen in my life for anything. Whether that's a political ballot, a movie ballot for an Academy Award, an Emmy ballot. Bob, you've gotten snubbed out of Emmys. You've won a lot as well. But sometimes people get the voting wrong there. It's honestly ridiculous. And I think conversations about stripping him of his voting and him losing his press credential or job are totally stupid. But the ballot itself is obnoxiously bad. I mean, just think about this for a second, okay? If Connor McDavid had played for the Penguins and had 153 points and had 30 points more than the guy in second place and led his team in goals, assists, and points and contributed to 47% of his team scoring. If you take him off the team, you lose almost half the points. If Seth voted that guy for the Penguins fifth, people here would say he doesn't deserve to cover the team anymore. I mean, people would he would vote him first, Bob. He would absolutely vote him first. So I'm just shocked by it. Seth must have his reasons. I haven't heard him explain himself in this situation. I actually think he owes it to people to put. He doesn't have to go on every radio show in Canada and get screamed at by people, which they want to do to him, obviously. But I do think he owes people an explanation on this because he's the only person who did it. And he didn't even have him second, he had him fifth.
If he had second behind Pasternak, okay, I may see that because Pasternak had a hell of a year. But to go fifth, even behind Sorokin wasn't even my conversation for anything. I never even thought about it. So that was very interesting, and he's down in Nashville. I'm sure he's going to hear plenty of it from the hockey writers who are there because tomorrow is the NHL draft. Right now we're going to go to the lines, beginning with our number one Cochrane Go One Better call of the night. We got Frank and Moon. Hey, Frank, what's up?
Hey, Bob. Hey, Pony. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Hey.
Pony, I agree about the pitcher from LSU because he's not going to pitch 123 pitches every game. He threw like 200 some pitches in 2 games. He's going to get back to that sixth inning, seventh inning thing, which hopefully it'll keep his arm good. And then as far as the other kid, Cruz, I read articles about him. They say he has the best hand and eye coordination of anybody in baseball right now in college. So it's a toss-up, but I do lean towards the pitcher because, like you said, he's just one of a kind, and I don't see him throwing all those pitches like he's throwing at LSU right now. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Frank. Well, listen, you can't go wrong with either of these guys, I don't think. I just want both to be fast-tracked, and I think they're both capable, especially Skeens, the way he's pitched. You're going to tell me someone up here is going to have their way with him at 103, the way he has command over those pitches and not just his fastball? That dude is good, and I would have no problem whatsoever with that happening, Andrew. But I think when you have a 5-tool guy like this dude, although I have to look at the Padres as an example of all these offensive players, what's it gotten them? $280 million worth of junk right now. They're terrible. So it depends on what you think you need. Ace pitchers like that don't come around very often, especially because the Pirates aren't going to pay for them.
Yeah, and look, they had success drafting a college pitcher number 1 overall, Garrett Cole. He's been their best starting pitcher since Drabek left town. So that doesn't count for much. You don't want to say Skeens will be good because Cole would be good because they're two different people. But if you look at the history of college pitchers that have gone number 1 overall and compare them to college hitters who have gone number 1 overall, guys like Jeff King, the pitchers have been better. Guys like Strasburg, David Price, Garrett Cole. Now, why is that? Maybe Bob, great hand-eye coordination, the caller says, with Cruz, but sometimes projecting what a guy does with an aluminum bat in college doesn't always transfer to what they do in the pros. It's just a fact, the way that works. So the scouts obviously know that, and they still have Cruz rated as the top guy. I wouldn't mind if they picked him, but if there's funny business from Boris and he tries to pull some stunt where the guy doesn't sign, and then you get nothing to show for it, it would be a total disaster.
We got to take a break here. We'll come back with more right here. It's the Ireland Contract Nightly Sports Call, Pittsburgh CW.